Hello, welcome to Big Tiny Dreams. This is Joni. I'm going to show a little bit of cooking. I'm going to do some enchiladas. Excuse my stove. I scrubbed everything and it still doesn't look like I want it to. Just don't peek too close. Anyway, I put rubber gloves on when I'm dealing with raw meat. I just don't like it touching my hands. I'm sorry. So I'm dealing with, this was from Members Mark, Sam's Club. In other words, it's organic grass-fed beef. Doesn't really say it on the back, but it came in a package of, I think, 3 for only $4.98 a pound. So not bad for organic grass-fed. So that's what I'm going to start with. Going to cut it open. You're not going to see that part because I don't have a camera person. It's just me. I am the camera person. So here we go. I forgot to turn the heat on the stove. Let me get the meat in there. Okay, get my gloves off. And hold on, I'm going to pause it a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm going to preheat the oven to 375. 75. There we are. Hang on. Okay, I had to pause that because my daughter was out here fixing hot cocoa. Okay, I got the oven preheated to 375. Nope, and I forgot to turn the fire home. There we go. Okay, I'm back again. I might just start all over. I preheated the oven to 375. This is Joni Big Tiny Dreams. Big Tiny Joni or Tiny Big Joni. Really, I'm none of those except maybe the big for now. Anyway, I've got a pound of grass-fed, organic grass-fed beef. I just turned the stove on to like medium. And these are the onions I'm using. The Walmart frozen chopped onion. Because I'll buy onions and a lot of times they go bad before I can use them. So this works good for me. I'm going to put this away. Sorry about the noise in my freezer. Okay. I've got a 1/4 cup. It asks for a 1/4 cup of chopped onion. It's frozen. It's not going to hurt anything. I sprayed the pan, even though I probably don't have to, because the meat is, I think, 85% fat or something like that. Let me see. What else was, I got the recipe here. Oh, it calls for 2 cloves of garlic, but I have garlic powder instead. So I Googled that, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder is equal to a clove. So I'm just going to do 1/2 teaspoon of that. I'm going to grab my meat chopper. I guess is what they call it. I have to be careful with my bad arm. I will put some seasoning in here, but I'm just going to get the meat going first. Let it get good and hot. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. I have a gas stove. I don't know how different that will make it or not. So let me clean the chopper off. Let that get good and hot. And I'm going to go ahead and add the other spices. And I'm dropping my dish towel on the floor. Okay, I said 1/4 teaspoon of granulated garlic is equal to a clove. So I'm going to do 2/4 teaspoons or 1/2 teaspoon, which I pulled one out, but when I grabbed this one instead. So I'm just going to sprinkle that in there. So that's a 1/2 teaspoon of granulated garlic powder, whatever you want to call it. I need a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin. What I did was, and I mentioned this in a previous video, I've got some labels, cute labels to put on these, but oh goodness, hang on. The ground cumin, I just wrote that on there, but I like the little mason jars for when I have a lot of spice, and I have some smaller ones like this for when I have a little, I'm sorry, I don't even see, for a little bit of spice. I'll show you one of the labels that I bought a pack of these labels, and I could put them over here or on the top because I have some of these in my drawer. But to me, I just like being able to scoop the spices out. And I buy different things. I want to be able to write on it what it is, because sometimes you you get the sticky. Okay, my mic died, so I'm going to have to do a voiceover, which I've never done before. So I'm getting the ground cumin, and I'm going to put a half a teaspoon in here as I try and open this jar. There we go. Y'all bear with me. As I said, I haven't done a voiceover before. It may sound goofy, but yeah, I'm getting my half teaspoon of cumin out, ground cumin. Sprinkle that in there. Sprinkle, sprinkle. That's the sound effect, in case y'all didn't know. Tap, tap on the jar. Put the lid back on, and yeah, I'm putting that jar away now. Okay, now it doesn't call for chili powder, but as I've mentioned before, I look up recipes and I'll either add or take away according to what I like. I'm adding some chipotle chili powder just because I love the flavor. It has a little more kick and it has this nice smoky flavor. So I believe I'm putting a fourth a teaspoon of that, and then sprinkle, sprinkle that. Put that away, and then I get my jar of regular chili powder and do a fourth teaspoon of that, I believe. Yeah, that's what I'm doing there. And I can, if y'all want, I can write down, which I'll probably put in the description, the recipe, so y'all can, look at it. But yeah, I put a fourth a teaspoon of that as well. Then I'm just going to, I think I get the salt after this, because I forgot to add salt and pepper. Do I get the salt and pepper? It's a mystery. I think yeah, I'm getting the salt. All I have is the salt grinder. I use the pink Himalayan salt. I ran out of I would buy this little bag of Walmart not a bag of Walmart, a bag at Walmart that had fine, already ground Himalayan pink salt. But I ran out, so I'm using the grinder. I'm going to chop that up a little bit, and then I'm going to sprinkle some ground pepper. Notice I didn't measure those because I had to switch arms. That was my bad arm. My right arm, which is, I'm right-handed, happens to also be my bad arm. Not so good for me. But anyway, I chopped that a little more. Then I'm going to sprinkle some black pepper. I don't measure those because, yeah, I just don't. I just do it to taste. So y'all can put however much salt and pepper you want. I know I put pepper in here sometime. Let's see. I think this is it. Nope. I got to clean my chopper off. And yeah, I knew I was getting some black pepper. I love those cute little mason jar looking salt and pepper shakers. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that. And I think I'm just going to stir it a little bit, let it cook. And yeah, stir that up. Then you're going to let it just, finish browning. So yeah, I'm going to cut the video here probably because y'all don't want to see me just stir and stir and stir. And I don't remember what I was talking about while I was cooking. Hopefully it was something good. Here we go. Okay, the meat is finished browning. So I normally would drain it on a plate of paper towels, but I got me a little strainer and a bowl, which you can't see because I have the camera still where it is. As I said, I don't have a camera person to help film. So I'm straining the meat in a strainer over a bowl to get the excess fat out. So, yeah. Okay, now I'm putting about 2 tablespoons of butter. I think that's 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 or 3 tablespoons of butter. And then, because it calls for oil, but I buy the grass-fed butter, the butter from grass-fed cows. I get the Costco brand or Kirkland brand because it's cheaper than the Kerrygold. And I saw someone review it say that it's actually better made than the Kerrygold brand. So then I add, I believe, 2 tablespoons of flour. I think this is called like making a roux, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, actually, I think I did 4 tablespoons of, 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I'm sorry. I read that wrong, or I didn't read it at all, something like that. Okay. So I'm just going to melt the butter with the flour and blend that, whisk that till the flour is cooked and it's blended well. And it has kind of a, I believe, a nice golden color to it. You know, when I went to Holland, uh, their butter was that bright yellow like that. And I thought, are they using margarine? Because I grew up using margarine because it, you know, you were told it was better for you than butter back in the day. And of course, it was so much cheaper. But come to find out, no, they have the good butter over there. And that's why it was that bright color. I guess it's from, you know, the cows being grass fed. It's such a nice bright yellow color. So anyway, I'm going to blend that up and cook it a little bit, get the butter good and melted. It takes a little bit there, whisking it. I look like I was having a little trouble with the pan. See, that's my bad arm I'm using. So I can still stir things and stuff. It's just too much movement makes my shoulder hurt more. So yeah, blending that up, melting the butter good. Yeah, I'm sorry if this doesn't sound as good doing the voiceover, but it was either this or toss the video and eventually film it again. And I got so many things on my plate this week that I'm like, I'm not going to film this again. I got other things I'm going to have to film. So anyway, after I mix that, um, oh, I remember what I was talking about while filming this. My mother-in-law was known for her enchiladas. She did them very well, but she did it a little differently. I think she used just oil and flour, which is what this recipe called for. But I like using the good butter, and I think she just did uh, oil, flour, and chili powder and water for her sauce. And don't get me wrong, hers were really good. But I tried this other recipe and I just like it so much better because I don't know, back in the day, they didn't season things quite as much. I've watched some videos where they use like vintage recipes and they always say they just didn't season things. So I like having the extra flavors of everything in this. So what I do next is I add 2 tablespoons of chili powder. I didn't use my chipotle chili powder for this one. Yeah, I got it on my thumb. I used just plain old chili powder, I think. Not unless I changed it up here. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of chili powder. But I think, do I add some of the other? I only saw myself put 1 tablespoon in there. Okay, it called for 2 tablespoons. I might have done that wrong. Or maybe I just not seeing right now. Anyway, you add 1/4 a teaspoon of cumin. And then I believe the garlic powder is next, as I'm still letting that cook with the butter and flour and the spices are, you know, warming up. Yeah, I add garlic powder next, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And this, I think, just adds a lot more flavor than just plain old chili powder. Some people like it the other way, and that's fine, but I like having the garlic powder, and I believe 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder is what I grab next. Yeah, that's the onion powder there. I have a teaspoon of the onion powder. Let me see. In the recipe, well, I'll tell you after this. I mix that in well with the butter and flour till it thickens up good. The flour and spices are, you know, the flour's cooked and the spices are a little toasty. but the recipe calls for 2 cups of chicken broth of the person that I watch. And this is where I change it up. Being I'm making beef enchiladas, when I made this before, I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to try beef broth because I think that would be really tasty. And if you see here, I get the organic bone beef broth from Walmart. I really like that. It has like, I think I show the, um, well, maybe I didn't. Oh, because I was thinking I showed the nutritional information on that where it has, I think I want to say 6 or 9 grams of protein for a cup of it. So not bad. And to me, it just adds so much more flavor. So, yeah, I think I'm about to add the bone broth to it because it looks like the, the flour and the butter and spices are done, warming up, heating up, however you want it. So now I need to add the bone broth, or you don't have to get bone broth. I just like adding it because I think it's like adds an extra kick of protein, and I feel that the bone broth is healthier. I don't know what I'm doing there with my hands. I'm obviously talking about something, but yeah. Of course, we don't know what I was saying then. Yeah, I'm adding the 2 cups of the beef bone, blah, 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 bone broth. It's just, to me, it's richer too. It just has a richer flavor to it. I got 1 cup there. I think I mixed that up good because it can get lumpy. I've heard if you add too much liquid at once, and I probably should have just added a little bit at a time, but I went ahead and threw the whole cup in there. The cup of broth, that is, not the actual cup. But yeah, you just want to whisk it to get the lumps out and keep the heat up a little bit, not on high, but like I think I have it like on medium. My stove doesn't say like medium, low, medium, high, or whatever. It's mainly high, low, and numbers. So I do it like on a 5 or 6, 6, not 6. I'm adding the other cup of the beef bone broth, and I'm just going to stir to keep whisking to get any lumps out and get it thick before I go to the next step. Here I'm showing the nutritional information. I don't know if I held it long enough for you to see. You could always pause the video for y'all to be able to see that. Well, I couldn't see it very well, but of course I'm in the middle of editing it. So I'm just going to keep whisking until it gets thick, and then I'll show the next. Okay, now I have I believe the sauce, excuse me, is thick enough. Now, some people might want to make a red sauce and add some tomato sauce to it, and that is fine too. And those taste great too. I just prefer it this way, so I didn't add that. But you could see where I have my meat there, where I strained a lot of the fat off of it. Now I'm getting the extra, it's not extra sharp. I normally like extra sharp cheese, but that's what I had. I normally buy the block of cheese and grate it, but my son had bought that bag and was going to get something else, and there's like half a bag left. He said, "You can have it, Mom." So I wasn't going to let it go to waste, but that's what I'm going to use to layer this into a casserole dish. So I'm going to go get my glass dish, and I will see how nice and thick that is. Oh, I have to move my... I'm going to stop here while I get my glass dish out. Okay, I got my pan out. I'm going to, it calls for a 9 by 13 dish. This was an 8 by 11. So, you could do what you want. But I'm putting some of the sauce on the bottom. Okay, I'm back. All right, I'm going to drizzle this in the pan just to have some sauce on the bottom. Now, this could be the incorrect way. I don't know. This is just how I'm doing them. I'm going to grab my tortillas and just layer them. I'm going to kind of dip them a little bit. I'm making a mess. So, oh, that's good. It's a little salty because I didn't know how much salt. Oh, goodness, it just broke. Okay, it's not real hot since I turned the heat off. Okay, so I'm going to do one there and do one over here and one over here. I just kind of dipped them in the sauce. Then I'm going to, let me just set that right there. I need a towel. There we go. All right, now look at the mess I made. Okay, I'm just going to sprinkle some meat mixture. I'm making a mess. And my mic is out again. So here I am voicing over. I don't know what's up with that mic. I don't know if I'm going to have to buy another one. But anyway, I sprinkle the meat on there. The beef, that is, not just any meat, but I sprinkle the beef. And now I'm sprinkling some of the sharp cheddar cheese. You can measure. This is just what I'm putting on there. I don't even know if the recipe, yeah, it says 12 ounces of cheddar cheese or Colby. I'm just doing what I normally do, and that's what I want to do. So I sprinkle however much cheese. I'm like, okay, that looks good. And now I'm dipping my corn tortillas. These are corn tortillas, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. Some people like to use flour, but I like the corn flavor. So I'm just dipping it in the sauce and then layering it on top of the beef and cheese. As you can see, the sauce is on one side. I didn't do both sides because I'm going to spoon some of the sauce on on this top layer here. As you can see, yeah, I'm spooning just a little bit. I don't necessarily do a whole lot, but I try and cover basically tortillas there because you don't want it to get dry. You don't want it to be real dry. So you add a layer of the enchilada sauce. As you see, I'm doing, spread it out pretty decently. And then I guess I just stopped spooning the beef. Like, you know what? Who needs that? I'm just going to sprinkle it. Well, I did the rest of it because that's only a pound. If you're making more, of course, you'll want to, cook more. You can have a bigger casserole. And then I'm going to I am spooning some more of the enchilada sauce over the beef. It gives it that good flavor. So sprinkle some more of that or drizzle, however you want to call that. Then I put some more of the sharp cheddar cheese. As I said, I actually prefer extra sharp, and I like to get the block and grate it myself. I have a KitchenAid mixer with the old-fashioned attachment. Nowadays, the attachments are plastic, but when my mother-in-law passed away, she had the old-fashioned metal set attachments and an old KitchenAid mixer. I gave the mixer away and just kept the attachments, and it works fine on mine. So I'm dipping the next layer of corn tortillas, dipping, however you want to call that, dredging the corn tortilla in the sauce and doing another layer of the corn tortillas. So, yeah, I'm just going to put that next layer. And I believe I just pour the rest of the sauce over. I'm probably washing my hands off because I get the sauce all over my fingers as I'm dredging the corn tortillas in there. But yeah, I just go ahead and I think spoon the rest of the sauce over because I used the rest of my beef. So I'm just going to grab the pan with the sauce and just put the rest of it over the top of the tortillas. And like I said, if you want to do a bigger casserole, you could probably double this. Or sometimes you just might like, you know what, I want more sauce than that. So you're you know, welcome to make as much sauce as you want. This is just how the recipe was, and so it ended up being plenty when I cooked it. So pour the rest of the sauce over there on the rest of the casserole, and then I'm going to grab my cheese and cover the top with more cheese. Yeah, more cheese. Put as much as you want. As I said, the recipe calls for 12 ounces for the whole casserole, or the enchilada. I call it a casserole because that's kind of how I made it. I just sprinkle however much I want on top. And then you're going to put it in 375-degree oven for 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to stop it while I put it in the oven. Don't worry about it. More flavor, right? So it's probably too early to cut through. Yeah. But I know I just want to try it. Let me get a plate. One of my Costco special plates. And yeah, my mic went out again. I don't know what was going on. I have to figure out what was up. But I'm trying the casserole. I'm trying to show you how it looks. I should have let it cool, but I could not wait. It smelled so good. And yes, it not only smelled good, but I think I'm going to go get my fork. Because I'm like, yeah, I take a bite. It was still hot. I had to blow on it for a little bit. But it was really, really delicious. I will leave, type up the recipe and put it in the description box. And feel free to change it up however you want. And yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties, but this is real life, I guess. So anyway, I just want to thank you guys for watching. And yeah, I don't know what I'm pointing at. Yeah, there's a casserole right there. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties, as I said. But yeah, if you'd like my channel, feel free to comment on what you might change up with this recipe, or if you tried it and like it, you can come back and comment about that. And I'm going to try and film something else today to put up. Anyway, you guys be blessed. Bye.